Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on October 6th, 2023 at approximately 4:28 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the precise same tools I personally use in my day to day life, and the philosophies of life I talk about are the exact same philosophies I guide my life by. I've offered these tools to literally thousands of other people, across around the world, with varying degrees of success depending on their own personal efforts. And this is why I call it a guidance, not the only answer. I am by no means the top of the totem pole. Heck, I run into more problems than half you probably do in a lot of ways. But with that in mind, I figured, and I will get into it. I will get into the private test. I've got the stuff here. Okay. As I said, I've got a test for you guys for your own higher senses. Now, before I go any further, we have Joe here, and actually Joe got here before I did. But Joe is in here, Joe Stewart, with the gold today. Okay, and I see, Joe, that you got a letter from the IRS. I presume that since what you've written in here, you've got nothing concerning you. So I'm hoping it was a letter that in your eyes is actually working out for the better. Now we have Shadow and Sun is in with the silver. And of course, this here is the link to Shadow's live stream. So just pop that in here and we go there and absolutely. When you get the opportunity, drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, come right out and give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to his channel and share the daylights out of it because, quite frankly, he's got some great ideas in there. Really good subject matter that I personally looked in on. Like, I don't just take somebody else's word for it. Somebody says this is a site, I'll go and listen to it and decide whether it works. Okay, net result, as you know, Shadow is here. Like I said, Shadow, you've got the silver. And Lord Yellowjacket, gee, I did that well. Lord Rebeljack, how you doing? You are in with the bronze today. Yeah, I'm going to say your name, and I read this thing called that you wrote, Yellow Shadow, which I presume is another way of saying hello, which is the way I do it quite often. Now, with that in mind, like I said, I do have a few things here to test. I have my necessary little clipboard, and yeah, I don't watch it. My son does, but it did show up for Christmas one year. Yeah, that's not a problem there, Jack. When I answer the phone, I quite often, especially with one individual, with one friend of mine in particular, quite often I will simply say yellow. Yeah, why? Don't know. Can't begin to figure that one out at this point. Callie, you are in with the honorable mention. Glad you could join us today. I'm presuming I'm hoping this means, Jack, that your life has been hectic in a good way. You know, like I said, it was time to start bringing about the idea of teaching, of actually giving you a way to work about. Callie, what we are looking at today is we actually have lined up a practical test to take a look at your ability to either use clairvoyance, to simply trust your instincts. Perhaps you're going to use remote viewing. These are just parts of your higher senses, but with real time quantifiable proof for yourself. So, absolutely. If you haven't got it already, grab a sheet of paper. Okay, grab a sheet of paper, grab a napkin and a pen, doesn't matter. Something to write down what you're seeing. Because before the end of this show, I'm going to start off with going through with holding something up for you guys to take a look at and for you to reach out with your senses and see what you can figure out without physically laying a hand on it. Now we just scroll down a bit here and we have Christine. How you doing? Glad you could join us. Hopefully your day has been going well. Clearly we're going to have to start off with a simple thing. What I'm doing here is essentially laying down groundwork and giving people time to get into the stream. Now, I had to redesign a few things, but and if did I did. Okay. Yes, I did. As you can tell, I got paperwork all over the place again. This is just the way my day starts off. Pull all the stuff out and go, there it is. Now I got to go through it. And of course, in order to get done tonight, I've got to get all that mess cleared out of the way. But there's a lot like I see a lot of YouTube streams where they go, here's how you do something. I decided to take a somewhat different tack on this and go, okay, let's give you something that you can try in practice, that you can literally experience yourself and get an idea. Now, understand, I'm about to show you a couple of things that, quite frankly, it may or may not work for you. This is not a pass or fail test. Okay, it is an interactive one today. One whereby when you experience it, you will be able to go either, yes, I got something right. Okay, or I picked up something. Now you may turn around, you might turn around and call this a lucky guess on your part. And that's okay. The higher senses are geared, and they are guided by your imagination to start with. Okay. And if it starts off with you going, gee, it was a lucky guess, I got a little bit of that. Okay. Then what you're looking at is you're looking at just opening the door. Now remember, when you started to learn to read, okay, you did not start out knowing how to read. You didn't start out opening up your first grade reader and go, gee, I can read all the letters, I can say all the letters. You didn't start out that way. I'm pretty certain of it. Now, of course, there are exceptions. My eldest brother, by the time he was 2 years old, was reading full length of science fiction novels. Okay, my oldest brother had a tested IQ in excess of 180. So some of you may go, there it is, all right there. Okay, you may do that. If you do, this is fantastic. But I caution you, do not get cocky. There is always someone that will be better. There's always somebody worse. There's always somebody that will put more effort in, always somebody that will put less. Okay, this is just a question of opening the door and going, what are we working with? Yeah, Lord of the Rings is still, well, The Hobbit is still the one book that I found really difficult to put down. That was what opened my door to reading, really. Okay, was The Hobbit itself. And that one there, Jack, is right here. I was lucky. This book, there's the copy I found. I think if I recall correctly, it's actually a third printing. But it is the book that I personally started with. Belonged to my brother, right? And as you can see with this one, I think you can see, it's got speckled edges. This is the book my brother had, the first one that I actually read. And I found it really difficult to put it down. Needless to say, it's still staying here. You know, Yeah, might as well drag that down. Bring that down, put it over there. And then we have this neat little thing. Now, this one, as you can see, this is the Lord of the Rings. Okay. And again, it's the full hardcover. That's all 3 books together. Okay, I think I gave my other set to my little brother, but this one I kept. Now, to give you an idea, like I've got other books up there, and I'm not going to pull them all down. No, in all fairness there, Jack, I really haven't read Dune. Right now, these are the 3 books I'm in the middle of reading, and I intend on finishing every one of them. Now, this one, and obviously, this is the Bible. The reason I'm reading this quite seriously is because I told my father that I would read this cover to cover. Well, I've started. It's going to take me a while. Then I've got this one, which is actually by Christopher Tolkien. Okay. Yeah, sorry, it's written by J.R.R. Tolkien, but it's edited by Christopher. Okay. Again, I will complete it. It's taking me a while to get through it, but I will make it. And the third one I'm concurrently reading is seriously a nature book, like a nature encyclopedia. I already read one medical encyclopedia. This one is, I think, 15 volumes. This is only volume 1. Okay. But I've started reading it, and we'll get through it as well. By the way, guys, this is what, oh, and one other last little detail. All these figures up here, okay, and my hand doesn't point where it belongs. Okay, all those figures are full-size figures of the Lord of the Rings. Now, I lucked out and got those at the perfect price. There's 22 of them up there. Okay, most of them, the packages haven't even been touched on. Well, haven't been opened. They are all from the Lord of the Rings. Okay, 22 figures in all. But I got handed them for nothing. And do you think I was going to turn them down? I don't think that would work well. Now, of course, I'm starting to work on that side of it too. But what do we got here? Let's see. Jack, yes, I have watched the movies. I cannot even begin to count the number of times. Okay. I do have the Game of Thrones down here on my bookshelf. I haven't read it yet either. It's set down the road. Oh, definitely football. I definitely prefer writing. This is why I am currently writing 29 books at the same time. How you doing there, Elaine? Glad you could join us. And we have Dog Faith. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Joe, much as it probably would be a good topic. Number one, I know almost nothing about the IRS. I'm Canadian. Heck, I know almost nothing about income tax here. Okay. Is it something that needs to be looked at? Good bet. Some of the things that I will be discussing and will be working when I'm talking about this school that I'm talking about opening, we will be dealing with the practical side of money. Okay, I just about said, the practical side of money laundering. We're not doing that. But the practical side of money and how to actually make it work from your pocket using your money to move ahead. Now, We have how many in the chat room right now? We have 9. So let me ask you guys, do you have a sheet of paper or a recording device or something, whether it's a piece of paper and a pencil, a pen, a computer console, a recording device that you just record your own voice? Doesn't matter. Okay. But before we get, because I've got 3 items here. We'll go through them one at a time. It's going to be a little slow going while we're at it. Myself, I tend to be a natural born multitasker. Okay. And what I mean by that is I can talk about this and concentrate on multiple things at the same time, except apparently what I did with my pen. And I love when I do that. I do have a pen around here someplace. This much I know. But what I did with it is anybody's guess. Okay, so we'll go get another one. Guys, of course it's gone missing. Like, why not? Fortunately, I got a stack of them. Nice part about it is because I've got that side of my office sorted out, I can actually find what I'm looking for. Okay, now, before we get started, okay, perfect people, glad to see it. Uh-oh. Hey, Greg, I did not see you come in, but welcome aboard and say hi to Janine and I for me as well, if you would be so kind. Now, let's see, we just stop that going here. That way it'll stop scrolling for a minute. Now, before we get into it, okay, take your hands, okay, point them towards each other and only about a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 an inch apart. Okay, you'll feel some sort of energy. Now, you may go, I'm feeling nothing. Possible. Okay, so put your hands that way, concentrate, and realize that the energy runs both directions at once. Standard energy, if you're looking at electricity, it goes from positive to negative or something to that effect. But from my understanding, you desire it to swap directions. You have to change the wires on the opposite ends. Rest assured, I am no electrician. Partially colorblind, really slow where it comes to the technical world. So just understand biomagnetic electric runs both directions at once. So take your hands, point them face towards each other, palms towards each other, and feel that energy. This is what we are working with. Okay. Now, once you've done that, and you can feel that little bit of energy, pull your hands apart a little. Still feeling that energy between you. All we're looking at is building your energy flow. Okay. Now, I can do a number of things I'm just not about to. Last time I ran energy heavily directly through a computer, I replaced my computer. It did not have fun with it. But once you got the energy there and you can feel it, now concentrate on the energy, on that feeling in the palm of your hand. You may be feeling it on your fingertips, and it's quite possible you'll even feel it on the hair on your arms as the energy builds in your hands. Pull the hands apart a little, as far as you can. Now, I can feel the energy easily between mine, and you'll just have to take my word for it. But I can no longer reach. I can no longer get my arms far enough away to not feel it. Okay. Because, sorry, I've only got about, let's face it, I'm 5 feet tall. Well, sorry, I'm 5'8" ish. So I've only got about a 5 foot, because I've got to tilt my hand. Right. So I've only got about a 5 foot span. Once you can feel that, now we're going to move into something else. Now, the neat little trick, you can do this at home. Okay. What I'm about to show you can be done at home. And let me just grab something here. This. Get that out of my way. take something that is a reasonably uniform shape or uniform color. Okay, get a friend of yours to put it in, or an enemy, it doesn't matter to me. Okay, get a friend of yours or an enemy, anybody, to take something that you don't know about that is uniform shape, uniform color, and put it into a brown paper bag, into a box that you cannot see into. Okay, in other words, no clear plastic doesn't work well. Okay, now what you're looking for is you put this into the container, and I actually don't have one handy, or do I? Oh, there we go. This will work. Now remember, you're looking at this, you're looking at putting this into something you cannot see in. This means something like this, if it's got a lid, okay, and no hole in the bottom. As you can tell, we've got a planter, but you can't see in it. So you get somebody to put it into a closed box, a closed bag, without you looking at them doing it. You put it inside, get them to put it inside. Now you can't see what's in here. And without touching the box, the bag, or whatever it's in, whatever it is, do not touch it. Okay, don't even touch the container. You can put your hand on the table beside the container, or put your hand near it, but do not physically touch the container. Okay. Now, this relies on your adhering to these guidelines. Okay, the advantage with me doing it this way is clearly you haven't got a prayer touching it. Now, by the way, this is not what I'm working with. They're over there. Okay, but you feel everything you can, whether it's a color, a shape, a material, a pattern, whatever it is. Write it down in as much detail as you can feel, even if you want to chalk it up to being your imagination. Okay, so hopefully you're with me so far. Now let's scroll down a little here. Okay. What do we got here? Yeah, I see this kind of thing going on way too often there, football. This issue of people being accused of things. I read a post on Facebook today, and boy, did it ever set me off a little backwards. Okay. Because the way they posted something, to me, it looked like an automatic assessment that anybody responding was automatically a troll. So I made a comment to it. Okay. And it set me off badly. I do not like being told that I'm insincere, or worse, that I'm automatically a troll. There's a lot of things I am, and those two, just in my eyes, don't fit. So I reacted in, shall we say, well, reacted no, because I thought it through. So I responded in, shall we say, a non-diplomatic fashion. Okay. What are we doing here? Just reading what was going on. Yeah, that's why. And in all fairness, Jack, when you mentioned here, it sounds like remote viewing. It may well be. I don't know which terminology people desire to use. Okay, in your guys' case, remote viewing is probably the best one. But like I said, this is not what I'm working with. Okay. Yeah, football, do yourself a favor. I see what you're saying here. My reputation is very important to me. I could not agree with you more. I can relate to that all too well. But resist the temptation to curse them. it doesn't usually end well. Elaine, how you doing? Oh, perfect. Oops. Okay, Elaine, right there. Like Elaine's just, and for those of you that aren't in the chat room, Elaine is just writing. She goes, I've been sitting here with my hands, like you said, as in palms towards each other, and have a metallic taste in my mouth. Why, that is a normal side effect. There's nothing wrong. But if it gets to be annoying, okay, take one of your hands, doesn't matter which one, place it palm down on something that naturally sits on the floor. A heavy chair, a heavy table, the wall itself. Okay, and visualize the excess energy coming out of your hand, much like water out of a faucet. Now, I don't want to drag this out too long before we get into the actual test. So we take that and get it out of the way. And yes, this is one of the things that's going out for a Christmas gift. As you can tell, it started out that color. I just painted it. But we're going to start with the first item. And the first item not up for bids is this little box here. Okay. Now, I'm not going to open it. For some bizarre reason, you're not going to be able to touch it physically. However, if you feel like putting your hand out towards the screen to see if you can feel something off of it, by all means do. Okay. There is a potential complication with that. Okay. And that is that if your energy is running too high, like I recommend not putting your hand right up to the screen. But if you're sitting back, you've got your hand pointing at it and focusing on this box. Okay. Write down anything you can about what you feel is in this box. I'm not telling you a thing about what, if anything, is in the box. Okay. Where are we here? Christine goes, can I put my guess or first instinct? Absolutely you can, Elaine. Absolutely. Okay. You definitely write down first instinct is absolutely a good move. Okay, whether it's a shape, a color, a consistency, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Okay, even if it's a small color differentiation you may be seeing. Okay, it could be literally anything. And the fact of the matter is, I will show it to you, but the fact of the matter is that what is in this box, I will be showing you in the very near future. Like I said, real-time quantitative proof for you. Okay. What do we got here? Jack. Jack is going, Qigong uses the physical energy you're talking about. Looks strange in their exercises, but it's been done for thousands of years. Absolutely. What I'm talking about here, it may be known by multiple different names. Okay. Then as William Shakespeare put it, at least I heard it from him, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Energy by any name is still energy. Okay. So be sure to write things down. Write down what you're seeing. This is just to give you quantitative proof on your end as to what you're picking up. And Nathan, how you doing? Glad you could join us. So let us go over here and we grab Nathan's stream. Where is it? Nathan and the Quantum Show. This is the link to Nathan's show. Like I said, my doing more than one thing at a time is just plain normal. But do drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, absolutely give him a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. Sandra, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Okay, now you guys have had some time. I'm going to sit here with this, and obviously I haven't stopped talking for obvious reasons. With the issue I had today on Facebook, I did respond to the person. There was a little bit going back and forth, but I will tell you from my standpoint, like, like, where are we here? Was it football? I think so. Yeah. Like football mentioned, I believe it was football that mentioned it. My reputation is very important to me. The fact of the matter is, I am not so soft spoken. Am I sincere about what I believe? Absolutely. Am I going to troll somebody else? Why bother? Okay. Lord knows there's enough of them around. Now remember, you focus on what's inside the box, not the box itself. Okay. And with that in mind, you may only get one item, you may only get one quality, or you may get a half a dozen. Write down whatever you're picking up. Okay. And where are we here? We are at because I've got 3. So I figure I got 2 hours, so this works out well. And that 2 hours is what I allot. Okay. So if you haven't done so already, and you're just coming in, focus your energy on what is inside this box and write it down. Yes, you can absolutely go with first instinct. Whatever, you can call it a guess if you'd like. There's no problem. Okay, this is just one of the tools I'm going to start teaching people on a regular basis. One of the things that the school that I'm looking at building is going to be working with. Okay, now let's scroll this down. Oh, nice, Nathan. Yeah, finally got a day off. That's a bonus. Yeah, if you're out and about, it's going to be really difficult. Because, like I've always said, Nathan, if you're out driving, do us all a favor, because I would rather you focus on driving than focus on trying this sort of thing. Because let's face it, you know, I'm just gonna put that down there. If you've got both your hands focusing on this box, both of your hands are no longer on the wheel, and worse, none of your hands are, unless you got more hands than I think you do. Okay, so we scroll down here because I lost there's a few that went by. Okay, now where are we? We are at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock Pacific. So now you've got your assessments written down, I hope. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, we open the box up, and I've got my hand to stop the thing from falling out. I'll pull it out. As you can see, there is only one thing in the box. Okay, there is what was in this particular box. Okay, now you'll notice, because I noticed that there were a couple of statements that were made. Okay, you'll notice if you look at it from the end, it looks round. Okay, yes, it is egg shaped, so you may have picked it up as being an egg shape or an oval. Donna Spencer, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Okay. Now, as far as color goes, well, in case you couldn't tell, the box itself is white. Okay. Now, and I gotta be careful because the last thing I want to do is drop this. Okay. But put it back in there. Now, that's what color you're looking at if you were looking for color. Understand this is literally, and I do not recall the type of stone, but it is a stone. I picked it up in one of the metaphysical shops around town here. Actually, no, that's mistaken. This was gifted me by somebody. They picked it up. I think they were down in Cuba at the time, or Mexico, one of the two. Derek, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Now, you'll notice what it is. Compare that. I noticed Christine is going, OMG, I was kind of close. Sometimes it can be real surprising. I've got 2 more for you. Okay, because I figure one, you can chalk it up as a lucky guess. There comes a point where your lucky guess, all of a sudden, you start focusing on the other idea. Gee, was it a lucky guess? If I get that lucky, should I go to Vegas? Now, this particular item is going somewhere. I don't know where. The reason I have this out is because it's going in the same box. It's heading out, it's going as a Christmas gift to somebody. Okay. Along with this little item here. Okay, remember I mentioned this idea of making things personal when it comes to, or a little bit more specific, where it comes to gifts. Okay. In this, and I don't know if I've got it. If I don't, I was looking for a couple of these, but this has just a little poem that's going with it. Okay. A symbol of your life renewed, you see the surface true. Yet once you glimpse the core within, your future's up to you. This is simply symbolic of your ability to go within this chamber. Take a look at the reflection, whatever you're seeing, make your visions a reality. Now, that is the first item that we were going to work with. And of course, I will be sealing this up. Okay. Put that out of the way. That's the first of three. Now, what do we got? Oh, there we are. Yeah. That was why I quit playing those. Toddface goes, when I play Powerball, I spend 20 bucks and win 5. Not exactly profit. It was literally those kind of ratios that caused me to quit playing the lottery. Okay, I just don't play it at all. Yeah, I think in all fairness, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think Powerball is actually global at this point. Okay, first and foremost, where are we here? Let's go back up and see who said what. Oh, Christine goes, I was close. Where is football's comment? Oh, that's gonna have to wait. So I'm just looking at some of the comments that are made here. I'm going to get to number 2 in half a second here. Now, that said, you've got the first example. You know what you did. Okay. Now there's one issue here. Go back up. Yeah. Yeah, Christine, I'm reading this comment. You went football. I wish. I'm never close. Well, in case you hadn't noticed, you can take that never and throw it out the window. Because this time, by your own rendition, you were close. So the never just went away. Okay. Now, with that in mind, now you can upgrade from I'm never to I'm seldom. This is absolutely fantastic. Okay, and this is what we're talking about. Taking your already existing possibilities and start moving them. Okay. And World, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And absolutely there, Christine, when you're looking at numbers, do focus if you're playing the lottery or you're working with the lottery, see the numbers coming up. Okay. Now, World has just entered, and much as we're doing the rest of this, we are going to go this way. And this is the link to World Bigfoot's channel. Absolutely, drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, come right out, give him a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. Okay, now, before we get any further down the road, let us take this little item. Now, I haven't figured out what I'm doing with the box, but it's not the box that we're worried about. Okay, the box contains something. Okay. Could be anything. And I'm not telling you I don't even, in all fairness, I put it in a while ago. I don't even recall exactly what I put in. But it could be anything in here, as long as it fits in that dimension. Okay. Now, the box itself, the reason I hung on to it is I like the patterning on it. Okay. But again, and don't worry about that sticker. That sticker, again, you ignore it. But I picked this up at Value Village. It's a secondhand store around me. Okay. I came across it. I liked the look of it. So I turned around and collected it up. But there is something in the box, and the only thing I will tell you is that the box is not what we're looking at. Remember, it is possible there's nothing in the box. Yeah, I know. Shouldn't lead you down that road. But there would be something, because even in a vacuum, you still got something. The important factor is the box is only a means to an end. My guess is, looking into the box, you can't see anything. Whether it is, whether you look at the top, the bottom, the sides, it doesn't matter. Okay, there are no windows to look through. So concentrate on what is within the box. And again, write down anything at all. Okay. Now, again, Christine, if you've written down that it feels like it's ceramic, make sure you write this down. Okay. And, again, we're looking at all these sorts of things that are being piped up. Okay. Now, yes, I am, my voices. I am going to be on, no, not on Saturday night. Tonight is Friday, so unless something really weird happened, I'm going to be on, I'll be in there, I'll be in there tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific. But you look inside this box using whatever means you desire necessary. Now, in case you hadn't noticed, nobody physically is in my room with me. At least none of you guys. Okay. And if there is anybody physically in my room, I could have an interesting situation, because I didn't invite them. So you take a look, write down whatever you can. Okay. The reason I'm taking my sweet merry time with this is to give you guys a chance to really focus, really reach your senses out. Because again, I'm going this route, and we're going to go down the road next week again. I haven't decided how we're going to do it. I'm in the process of laying out the patterning. Where are we here? World goes, it's Keith's turn to be on. We're on SOR. I was just on there Tuesday. And I got to ask you, World, because I wasn't listening on Tuesday. But I got to ask you. Yeah, Donna, ultimately, whether you call it clairvoyance, remote viewing, it's a question of figuring out what's in the box. Okay. And there was one more test done earlier, right when we got started, to take a look inside and see what you can piece together before I open the box. But after a few moments here, I am going to open the box. This is so you can reach out. And if you feel compelled to reach your hand forward towards the screen, I recommend don't get too close to a computer. Biomagnetic energy can fry a computer. I know this from practical experience. Okay. Oh, well, there we go. And that would explain why I don't see it. Most of the time, I usually end up folding my tent up at about 10 o'clock at night. And then, of course, I end up getting up about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Something to do with my energy levels really tank. Today was bad, because I didn't even get up until 10 o'clock Pacific time this morning. But you take a look at what's in the box, write anything down that you can. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay. Because the only thing that I can say for certain is whatever is in here, even if it is air, will fit inside this box. Okay. Now you get to figure out if I'm twisted enough to put something living in here. Okay. And, let's face it, I've been called a lot of things. The one that set me off today was somebody literally insinuated that I was insincere and much worse, a troll. Or is that vice versa? Okay. What we're looking at here is testing your ability because there's more we can do with this after you've got it running. But this is only the beginning. Semper Fi there, Black Dragon. Glad you could join us. Remember, this is not a test of do you have the ability. This is a question of learning what the ability is and seeing and starting to work with it and opening the doors. Okay. Very important. It was brought to my attention with Nathan a couple, I think last week, maybe this week. I don't know. I think it was Saturday that we don't have a functional school in this country for teaching this sort of thing. So I figure, what better way to start? Because he is right. I don't know of one. The only one I knew of folded the doors. Okay. So reach out however you can. Clearly, you're not physically going to be touching this. And therein is the kicker. Oh, okay, Elaine. We will do that for you. Okay, you've got things written down. We open the box up, and as you can see, there's a lip on it. Now, yeah, this is an interesting setup. Okay, we have this. Okay, now let me put the one down because all we have to do is put that out of the way. This is what was in it. Just to show you. Now you'll see it's rectangular. Some of you may recognize it. But so that there is no confusion, there is inside the box, there is black foam. Okay. But that's because this box is literally a dice box. Okay. That's what you're looking for. So if you did pick up black, that's inside this. This is going even deeper in. Okay. And if you hear this, I think, and I might be mistaken, I think that's some sort of an oddball clear metallic plastic. Okay. But this is what you were looking at. Okay. And World goes, I guess dice. Well, you're on the right track because it is absolutely a dice box. Okay. And the reality of it is that is what it came from. So yes, world, you're absolutely on the right track. The cause and the purpose of the box was definitely dice. Okay. Now I gotta ask Elaine. And again, realistically, this is for you guys to test. Oh, bonus. That's excellent, Elaine. Yes, you were there, Christine. And again, you take a look at that and compare that to your last test. Now, I've still got one more to go. Okay. I know I got one more to go, but that was number 2. And again, I'm just going to, because of the fact that it isn't going anywhere, I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. Well, I appreciate that, Black Dragon. Yeah, you don't want me singing. Just take my word for it. Okay, now where are we here? Now, Elaine, I know you said, I think it was you, Elaine. I've got good memory, just really short a lot of the time. Yep. So, Elaine, I know you've got to go and get the horses dealt with. Kind of a priority. That said, when you get a chance, there is a third one for you to test. Matter of fact, there's a third one for everybody to test. Okay. And this is why I say, the world just going, I just type dice, not dice box. True. But this is why I said it is a personal test, one to check yourself. Joe, that is absolutely fantastic. And by the way, Joe, just as a side note, because I never even thought about that aspect of it, If your guides are giving you information, if you hear this guide telling you this is what it is, write it down. It still qualifies as sensing. It is just another one of many tools. Okay. Now I'm just making certain that, and again, if if you want to call it a guess, if you want to call it first instinct, clairvoyance, remote viewing, whatever term. Uh-oh. No, sorry, Black Dragon, but bacon is in my freezer. I haven't even thawed it out. But I also haven't thawed out all the elk I've got. Yes, trying to just absolutely ruin myself here. Actually, I'm really not. I just decided it was too hot for me to have coffee at this point. But you know what we got to do there, Bacon? Is yeah, that's what we'll call you from now on, Black. We'll just call you Bacon. Yeah, yeah. Christine goes, I just ate Taco Bell and sparkling water, trying to keep it classy. You know, I don't somehow think, Christine, that you're going to have a problem keeping things classy. This is one of the nice things about the people in this chat room. Okay. You know, this is one of those very important aspects. Matter of fact, I forgot. Speaking of which, yeah, talk about going around circles. Of course, tonight being the first Friday, I actually haven't talked to Dave just yet. But where are we here? This is the link to Dave's show for tonight. Okay, because tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific time, I go live on Spaced Out Radio with the ET Connection. Just figured you guys just reminded me in a sense. So we go here and we go, where are we? Just letting Dave know a real important one. What the heck did that do? There we go. I'm just leaving and dropping Dave a quick note. Joe, you are absolutely right. You know, Joe's just saying, I need to write time to start writing down what they tell me, what they're trying to tell me. Those voices are there for a reason, even when I'm stressed out. Actually, you know, you might think of it this way, you know, that especially when you're stressed out, they pop in. I'm just dropping a quick note to Dave to let him know that I am set for tonight. You know, just live streaming right now. I do know this is the one thing that I really do have to concentrate on. Otherwise, I get so many spelling errors. It's absolutely, absolutely insane. There, he's been warned, or more to the point, to him being confirmed. Yeah. Where are we here? Well, I appreciate that, Jack. And yeah, this is something that I've had to really take. This is something I really had to take to heart because there are days where I ran into all sorts of hiccups. Now, Christine's just saying, once I heard something say, perceive you at best, and it wasn't an audible voice, I didn't know what it meant. Um, Ultimately, I don't know. I can't say for certain what it meant, but what I take out of that, Christine, is when you take a look at yourself, see yourself as the best you are, as the best you feel you can be at this time, and always strive to be a better version of you. Okay. Ultimately, don't give up on you. Now, I will tell you, every one of you guys here in the stream, and all the people that are not live are just listening afterwards even. Okay. From my standpoint, it really boils down to an issue of this is a chance to really start looking at what you're capable of. This is not meant to tell you, these tests are not meant to tell you what you cannot do so much as what you can. What do we got here? Henry, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Yes, it's been a very long while. Hopefully things are going well enough for you. Now, where are we here? That's not bad. We're going on the 5:30 mark, so we're going on the 1 hour mark. And yes, by the way, guys, the reason I'm backing these up back to back is to give you a chance to look at it. I will go into the other side of it afterwards. I will go into the other side of things and open the floor up for questions or whatever. Yeah, Black Truck goes, bacon is always the answer. Yeah, no doubt there, Jack. The way I look at it, where it comes to the Marines, any of the military, much as I myself have never gone to war, they wouldn't, the military told me, hey, Keith, you're epileptic. We don't give epileptics automatic weapons. Something about rate of fire or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, from my standpoint, I've always put that side of it very high up. I respect the people in the military and the first responders because frankly, it's because of you guys that I don't have to worry as much. Okay, I still get all sorts of other complications. Now, here is number 3. Okay, and again, I'm not opening the thing. Okay, now you notice the outside of the box is multiple colors. We're not worried about what the outside of the container is. We're concerned about what's in the container. And I will get to that in a little bit, but reach out. And how about we turn that so you don't actually get distracted by the doggy. And no, I did not put a puppy dog in there. At least not a live one. Can you picture me stuffing a live puppy dog in there? I mean, that's just a bit of a problem. But take a look beyond it. Okay. Now, whatever you do not rely on sound. And I actually forgot about that possibility when I put this thing in there. Okay. Do not rely on the optic nerve, or for that matter, on your auditory. Okay. Picture, if you will, it's sitting still, and that's all you're working with. Okay. The reason for that is because we're looking at the senses in here, not the ones in your ear, not the ones in your hand. Okay. Well, there's a really bad idea there, Christine. Starting off with I'm going to get it wrong is not necessarily the best way to focus. Okay. But feel inside. Okay, now it will fit within these dimensions. Okay. So, whatever it is, go with first instinct. What do we got? Now, when you look at it, now we already know, Christine, just to put things on a slightly more positive upbeat. Okay. Remember, you've already hit 2 that you got reasonably well. You may know more than what you think you know. So absolutely write down what you feel. Okay. Go with first instinct. But don't forget to write down the other options. Okay. Remember, it's not necessarily one quality you may pick up on. Okay. There is likely more to it. Now, one of the neat little catches here is we ignore what is on the outside. The colors on the outside, the writing on the outside is not what you're focusing on. Focus beyond that. focus within this container. Okay. Now clearly we can safely say that there's something in there. Now bear in mind, maybe you're just hearing things. That is a possibility. I am not known for being able to do that all that well. But, okay, but listen, feel it with your own mind. Absolutely, Joe. And this is because you brought it up. If you can get your guides to take a look and sense something about it and then relay to it, it is still another way of finding out what's in the box. This is why I call it quantifiable real-time test results. Not because you're going to fail or no, pass or fail. It is simply a way of seeing what you're capable of. Okay, so we're looking at this. And yes, I am in the middle of writing out course outlines to expand upon this kind of work. Okay, and rest assured, just because I know how to explain it, or just because I know how to work with it, does not necessarily mean that I do everything we're talking about. Okay, I leave other people to determine what I'm capable of. Where are we here? Henry's just asking, is it possible to send someone your energy through the Merkaba band or whatever it's called? The short answer is yes. Okay. Now, it's in all fairness, take that V that you've written there, Dogface and Henry. That's Merkaba with a B where the V is. That's the second last letter. But the Merkaba band, you've got your third eye here. Merkaba sits right across the forehead. Okay. There you go. Yes, the third eye is associated with the chakras. Okay. And the Merkaba band, there are 6 minor chakras. 1, 2, 3, one at the temple, one at the corner, one about halfway between the corner and the third eye, and then around the other side. That's your Merkaba band. And yes, by focusing that energy to the center, you can send that energy. Bad news, positive or negative, depends on what you focus on. That energy can be sent to another person. Ultimately, it really is, Henry, and here's the kicker to it. The back of your head. If you take your finger and put it on the back of your skull, right at the base of the spine, at the peak of the spine rather, you'll feel a little divot there. That is, and you're going to love this one, that is an optical receptor. Now, before I get any further sidetracked here, we're going to take this little item here. Now you've got your stuff written down about what you assessed. And like I said, we're talking real time. I love the people that go, oh, wait till the end, we'll take a look at it. No. Okay, and I will come back to this issue here in a little bit. But we take this little canister. I forget what it was for. As you can see, lid comes off. Now, inside this, okay, I know you can't see it. What I was showing you there was just I've got my thumb on my finger on to make sure it didn't fall. But it's only the one item. And here we have it. Okay. What we're looking at here is a bottle. And it is, quite frankly, and you'll love this because if somebody wrote something down, okay, if somebody wrote something down, I don't know if you can read that or not, but the writing on it is blasted brew. It is spiked coffee, cold brewed. Now, as you can tell, it is still closed. Like I said, I've got a few of these floating around. But since I don't drink, they become... Dogface goes, whoa, I was totally wrong again. No, not soy sauce, but it is the right color. You know, Jack says soy sauce. No, it is, and I only it says it's spiked coffee. I've never actually opened it, so I'm not entirely certain. you know, Black, that's Terry. Hey, Black, has anybody ever actually cautioned you may be addicted to bacon? I have no idea, Henry. Let's see if we can find out. Okay, let's do it the other way. Because frankly, I'm not able to read it. However, I have this other funny little thing I work with. There it is. Hey, what is that? Oh, okay. This is not only the tool that I actually would burn with, but it is an actual bona fide magnifying lens. So I take that around here. Yeah, that doesn't work much anyway. It says blasted brew. Don't fall asleep on the job. Keep your eyes wide open. With a sip or two of with a sip or two. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, with a sip or two of our spiked coffee. With a sip or two of our spiked coffee brew. So they didn't say what it is actually spiked with at all. Peppermint distilled, cold brew, and bottled in Naramata from BC's finest wheat and locally roasted organic coffee. Now we know what it's in, what it is. I have no idea what it's spiked with, unless they want to call it spiked with caffeine. Doesn't say anything. Jack's going, it's from 1832. That one I'll take your word for. Yeah, I don't know. In all fairness, Henry, I don't know how you'd spike it with peppermint. Okay, but that was the third item. So, where it was mentioned up here, where it was mentioned up there about, one day I may find out, about it looking like soy sauce. It's the right color, the right consistency by the appearance of it. Okay, but in all fairness, I've never broken the seal on it. You know, and therein lie the three tests I told you I would have. One of the things I am very particular about in my eyes, okay, you know, one of the things I'm very particular about is I do my best to be straightforward and honest. Okay, last thing I'm going to do is start telling people that that they're full of whatever. I mean, I did make the comment, if you go check out what was written, okay, you know, and I'm just not going very far with it. I said my piece with it, I'm done. You know, I did get a response. Dave was quite happy when I told him I was ready for tonight. You know, but I did mention that we were going to have a couple of tests that you could test yourself. You can now look at what you wrote down, and again, go back over. Go back over to take a look at what you saw. Okay, at what you saw in your head, and compare it to what the item actually was. Okay, this is the nice thing about the videos being there in the archive. You know, where are we? Perfect world. I do appreciate that. I keep trying to get into other people's. Today was just absolutely bizarre. I got up this morning and had to pack everything in and go back to bed. I actually didn't get up until 10 o'clock Pacific. Obviously, I talk in Pacific time. Oops. I do once in a while. Unfortunately, and this is why I figure world, and you're right, I'm not on very often. Okay. Primarily because what it is I'm in the middle of writing something, and the way I write is I will take a pad of paper and write physically, then I'll transfer it to the soft copy. But when I'm writing physically, I'm nowhere near the computer. I'm usually actually down at the restaurant or up front away from my computer, which is down back. You know, the reality of it from my standpoint is this. When I was on Nathan's show the other day, he mentioned the idea there is no training facility at all available for the metaphysical world. And it hit me really odd. I knew of one school. I researched into it, it apparently closed. Okay. Henry's just letting us know the pork lowers the body frequency. I will have to take your word for it. I've eaten an awful pile of pork over the years. Yeah. Dogface goes, I can't write on a computer. It just doesn't feel right. Kids now do schoolwork on laptops and stuff. It's all Greek to me. I could not agree with you much more. A lot of what happens, in my case, is I'll write it out on paper, and the same lass that does my editing for me will transcribe it. Okay, saving me a whole lot of hassles to start with. Oh, I'm sorry, world, I missed that one. See, much like Black, I absolutely will eat, will munch on bacon. Okay, whether that's good for me or not, I don't know, but I like the flavor. Okay, on the flip side of that, I will also sit down and munch on cubed pork chops. I find it really rough trying to get into the other side of it. Trying to eat the pork chops themselves and never the bone. Those things hurt when you bite them. Dogface is going, Christine, Taco Bell vibrates something in me. And then I've got about 20 seconds till disaster. Uh-oh. Now, I mentioned something pretty much in passing. There are 3 points where you pick up information with the optic nerve. Now get this. We know for a certainty the front of the optic of the eyeball pulls in a lot of information. Okay. Now, people feel that they've got peripheral vision, which you do. What you may not realize is the information that hits the temple. Okay, transfers straight in to the optic nerve as well. Point number two. Point number three. And I'm not about to try and do this one with my head turned around backwards. Doesn't work well. Take your finger, reach into the base of your spine, follow it up. You'll feel a divot in your skull, at the base of the skull. That right there is the third link to the optical nerve. Well, on the plus side there, world, Muslims may not eat pork, but that leaves a lot of it for the rest of us. From my standpoint, see, the thing is, where it comes to pork, you go back to the Middle Ages, you didn't eat pork because the pigs ate everything that was garbage. And it usually proved to be rather fatal. In today's world, not the same problem. But I'm not the one to recommend one type of food over the next. On the whole, I will tell you, in my opinion, ketchup and ice cream is a bad mix. Now, I can only speak in truth to vanilla ice cream and ketchup. I cannot tell you about chocolate ice cream. Of course, I don't like chocolate ice cream, nor strawberry ice cream with ketchup. But neither event, I'm not trying either one of them. Okay, now I'm looking at this going, when you've got senses that pick up more information. Now, people know when you're hearing. Okay, everybody goes, "Oh, you're hearing with your ears." Yeah, Dogface goes, "I can't have ice cream. My teeth are sensitive like me." Ultimately, you're right, Henry. It's still, in my opinion, not a good mix for ice cream. I found a way years ago. I actually have a recipe for zucchini jam. And honestly, it worked out really well. You can turn just about anything into jam. I understand they have this other thing that they work with, also known as toe jam. I'm recommending not using that. And yeah, this straight water, not fire water, just water. You know, but when you're looking at your senses, now everybody knows the ears here. What you may not realize is so does your skin, so do your fingers. You know, that's why people that are deaf can hear so well in bare feet. It's also why you may be able to. Okay, for me, I used to feel people coming up behind me when I wasn't wearing a shirt. Needless to say, I'm not about to come on this stream without my shirt on. Okay, not gonna happen. Which is probably a good thing, otherwise everybody just screams and runs away anyway. I'm not what we consider a good physical specimen. I remember somebody was complaining about the way I dress, and I was in a grocery line one day, and somebody was complaining about my outfit. Eternity, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And I looked at the guy and I said, "Look, it's not like I'm a fashion statement." And the girl right behind me pipes up just like that. She goes, "You are so not a good one, but you are a fashion statement." You know, but the more senses that you can draw attention to, that you can draw on, the more you will finally see things. Yeah, the world goes. Tired of things contacting you telepathically? Eat more pork chops. I don't know. I don't think that worked all that well for me. Yeah, that was one of the things that I actually backed off on for a bit. I was saying, Dogface just going, "Have you been using your dumbbells, Keith?" This I've noticed the last couple of weeks, the answer is no. So, but I've still got the time to hit that goal. And quite honestly, it is one of those little goals that I am absolutely pushing towards to get done by the end of the year. If you'll recall, I mentioned I desired to be able to curl 25 by the end of the year. So at this point, I'm still dealing with this, which is 5, 10, about 12 and a half. Okay. I'm looking at doubling that by the end of the year. I still got the time to do it. Exactly, and that is why I haven't gotten beat and why I haven't beat myself up over it. It's very much like getting my left hand to write properly. I've started doing a few things, not the least of which that goal I still have time for. Okay. So these are things I'm aiming for. Much more importantly, is as you said, the only time you really drop out, and I'm paraphrasing, because what you said, Dogface, was it doesn't matter if you fall off, you can always get back on. This is assuming that you're not on the back of a plane and fall off, because I'm pretty much certain you fall off, you're in serious trouble. Although the fall won't kill you, it's the landing that'll really screw things up. But like I said, I was going to look at the testing process, okay, and see about getting some sort of quantitative measurement that you can work on so you can look on at it and go, what am I dealing with? I'm striving to figure out how to turn this into a much more interactive thing on a back and forth side. But this is absolutely a starting point. Now, I don't require that there. Again, if you put things back right away, you eliminate a lot of your problems. Okay. Part of my problem is professional procrastination. Like I said, I used to procrastinate. Now I just don't bother doing it. Yeah. Donnie goes, people are going to complain regardless. Someday they will get over it. Yeah, absolutely. You know, someday they will. I've come to the conclusion that, I do my best not to let things get to me because I see a lot of complications. But I'm living proof of a lot of things that people talk about. Okay, and I'm certainly living proof that you can heal your own eyesight, you can heal your own heart. Okay, things that are really annoyingly simple, like so many people get told, "Oh, you've got type 2 diabetes, you're going to die of kidney failure or whatever." I look at it going, "Okay, I got type 2 diabetes. Now here's something I got told after the fact, and it wasn't by a doctor." Okay, somebody else was talking to me and went, okay, the moment you have a stroke, your blood sugar is going to spike. So right after a stroke, they test you for diabetes. They're almost guaranteed to find it. Okay. Once you've got it, now you got to worry about it for the rest of your life, apparently. I didn't worry about it to start with. I'm not about to worry about it now. Okay. But I will put it to you this way. By the way, guys, if you're listening in, even if you're not in the chat room, that's okay. Okay. But if you like the stream, do give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of it. That would be really appreciated. Okay. I'm still working. I got a couple emails that came in that I haven't got a response for them. What have I got here? I'm just looking back at a few things that were going on. Okay, answer that one. Got a few profiles I got to deal with, but if you've got any question, and literally in any field, absolutely. If you've got a question, we're still here for another half hour and then some. Okay, so absolutely, if you've got a question, even if it's not in the topic we've been talking about, absolutely put it in the chat room in all caps, partial caps, or at least that funny little wavy hand. and I will do my best to answer. Failing that, any comments that you'd like to make, any questions that you desire to put in the comments below, do so. I am making a concerted effort to get to all of them. I'm even now going backwards and hitting ones I literally missed 2 years ago, which gives you an idea how organized I was back then. So you may have put a post in there, okay, that you're getting responses to now. And for that, I do apologize. The newest ones that are coming in, I absolutely go out of my way to respond to. Yeah, Joe, in all honesty, I've got journals that date back to the early 80s. Okay, whether it was about what I was feeling, what I was sensing, it's all mixed up in there. But do I have a specific dream journal? No. Yeah, yeah, that's what's happening, Dogface. Is I got all the new ones dealt with, and I'm looking and I've got some comments that are in there from literally 2 years ago. So, they probably don't apply a lot at this point, but I'm getting them answered as a literal commitment to myself to get them all answered. This is the thing about commitment, is when you make up your mind to do something, absolutely get off your tail feathers and make it happen. Okay, I cannot make changes for you, but I can provide you with real-time guidance, real-time testing. Where are we? Okay, let me just write that down here. I just read what you posted there, world, and give me half a second. I'm gonna hurt myself. Now, world comes on Sunday, 8 p.m. Central. That works out well. That's after my game ends. After my game ends, after my stream ends, it works out well. Whoa. I end at 6:30, which is 8:30 Central. Yeah, so I will certainly be late. But where are we? World has put in, stop over to my channel Sunday at 8 Central. Living legend from the movie The Legend of Boggy Creek. Keith Crabtree will be my guest. I clearly won't be in right at the beginning of it. Something to do with the fact that I'm already live streaming till 6:30, which is Pacific. But that being said, just move that out of the way. And we go 8 p.m. Central, making 6 p.m. We go to World Bigfoot. Okay, now, I do have you on my calendar. Yeah, I do have you on my calendar now, World. So when I get done the stream, we will certainly push people your direction. But I won't be able to make it there until right afterwards, i.e. 6:30. Now, you're only on for an hour, aren't you aren't you, World? But with that in mind, I will certainly be there. I've got it written down, and the nice thing about my writing things down on my hard copy is I tend to get where I'm heading. Oh, I think I mentioned it to you guys. I was having trouble with I think I mentioned to it, I was having trouble with the heater in my car. Turns out the problem was I was shorting the poor thing out. Yeah, so I'll certainly catch the back end of it. What I'll probably do, as a matter of fact, that'd be a neat one of doing. Why don't I do that? Mark it here. I won't actually have it on vocal, but before ending my stream. I just wrote another reminder here for myself, world, to literally turn it on before I get done my stream. So, but I've got 3 monitors, I can do that. Holy mackerel, yeah, they do. Yeah. World goes, Keith got some big fingerprints on his truck this summer. Each finger about the size of a summer sausage. And you can see the dermal ridges on them. That's absolutely fantastic, World. This is why I actually tell people, go and take a look at World Stream, because you've got some fantastic footage and you've got quality interpretation of it. The important factor from my standpoint is I look at the people, and this is why I recommend certain streams in here. And again, if you happen to be in here, if you happen to be in the chat room or in the listening to this stream, and you do have a stream of your own, absolutely drop me a line. There's a number of ways of getting a hold of me listed below this video and all of my videos. Okay, drop me a line with your live stream link, so I can take a look at the thing. Yeah, Dogface goes, every time I think I have sausage fingers, I look at King Charles and no longer am self-conscious. I'm guessing this means King Charles has large fingers. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, there we go. World goes, he goes, thanks. World Bigfoot Radio's motto, talk is cheap. We show the evidence. And that's the whole thing. You show evidence that is quantifiable. Now, am I perfect in my, do I do a lot of, here's the evidence for you? No, in all honesty, I really don't. But then I reached a point in my life where so many people were telling me that I was full of it, etc. I just went, scrap it. Ah, perfect. I will have to take a look at that, Derek. Let us take a peek here. Oh, don't need that one. Let us take a peek here. And we hit refresh. Oh, okay. Yeah, there it goes. It's priced, and I'll go look at it and right while I'm checking it out, it's processing. The thing is, and that sounded like we have noise. There we are. Oh, nice. Talking about crystal clear. I can't make out what they're saying, but I can tell you what I'm looking at here. Well, I can't tell, and this is my eyesight problem. I'm looking at it going, I can't tell the size of them, nor whether I'm just looking at a saucer or a cigar shape. But that's my eyes. Yeah. That's an excellent point there. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking at that world and it pretty much says it all. It pretty much says it all. World goes, the reason so few channels do a format like mine is because trying to get a reputable guest with good evidence to show every week is like trying to herd cats to the top of Mount Everest. Now I will tell you, knowing those are saucers, bearing in mind the uniform shape, those would seem to be Zeta Reticulum. Okay, you can tell this because they don't have a bubble on the top. They are just a straight, smooth saucer. So I would be inclined to say you're looking at. Now, let me take a look at that again just because I'm now nosy. I look at this, and we are definitely they are being clocked by, can't tell the exact make of the ship, of the plane. Looks like it's definitely a fighter jet. What make? I don't know. But then I'm not a military aircraft specialist. Shut that noise off. Thank you. But I really do appreciate the film there, Derek. The reality is, I cannot speak to the veracity of the video. All I can do is tell you this is what I see it is, what I'm seeing. Okay, but the shape of those saucers, those look like Zeta Reticulum, your standard gray saucers. Okay, usually they will have two or three Zeta Reticulums in them, and depending on the size of the saucer, you may have a couple of Nords, which I'm still looking for that final name for. I wrote it down, and I'll be danged if I remember what I did with it. What have we got? Oh, okay. That actually makes total sense there, Christine. The Zeta Reticulans you've heard of. Beta Reticulans are still your grays, but they are your agricultural kind of specialists. They are the ones that handle I shouldn't say agricultural, but they are more your domestic specialists. They deal with the agricultural and the civil engineering side of it, not the scientific side. Okay. Where are we? Dogface. Veracity, conformity to facts, accuracy. Oh, there we go. There it goes. There are two F-35 fighter jets following two saucers off the coast of Maryland. Yeah. Where are we? Okay. Is there a beta and is that bad? Number one, the answer is any individual race bad? No. That I'm aware of, we have the Zeta Reticulans, you've got the alpha, the beta reticulans. You also have, your zeta, your beta, your Zeta Reticulum D are your controllers. They are the people that basically make the decisions on what's being worked on. Honestly, Dogface, and I ignore all of the scientific evidence that's out there. All of it. Where the question you've got there, Dogface, is the earth flat? I ignore all of the rhetoric that goes, here's the proof that it is, and here's the proof that it is. Okay. I look at it and go and do this. I've seen the earth from orbit, and technically it's not even round. Okay. But is it flat? Absolutely not. Okay. I've been up there. I've seen it. You can take my word for it or not. To me, it doesn't matter. Okay. But I've seen it from orbit. Well, in all fairness, I've seen it from orbit. I've been on it from orbit, but I saw it actually. One of my first experiences was seeing an Earthrise, which meant I had to be on the far side of the moon to watch it come up. Ultimately, it's closing, from what I saw. I don't know if you want to call it an egg or a pear, but the fact is, where did that thing go? Because of the way, and there are some films, some scientific films that show it really well. Okay, just pulling that little egg of mine out again. Okay, you take a look at it from that end, it looks round. Take a look at it from that end, it still looks round. Reality is, it travels through through space in an oddball spiral shape, following the sun. Okay, but what happens is it gets narrower at the top and wider at the trailing end. So really, egg shape is not a bad consideration. Okay, but it's traveling along this way. It feels, for us, round works. A lot of that has to do with the fact of the size. But is it flat? No. In all honesty, the report I read at one point is if you turned around and blew a cue ball, and like blew a pool ball up to the size of the Earth, the pool ball would have more bumps on it than the Earth does. Oh, we're working on that. I keep trying to get out of here. My voice just goes, have any aliens or spirits told you when you're going to die? You know, and in all honesty, I've been working on that. They've told me a number of times you're going to die, and I keep going, no, not going to happen just yet. Primarily because the way I look at it, God doesn't want me, and Satan's afraid I'll take over. But where I'm aiming at, and if I get my way, this is only halfway through my life. Okay, because I'm looking at living to the year, at least the year 2064. Nope, that's way too short. Now, bear in mind, I was born in 1963. I'm aiming to see 2100. Okay, and yes, I realize that is a very long shot. Okay, from my standpoint, I figure I desired, when I was just a wee little kid, just a wee little lad, I told everybody I desire to see the 22nd century in a functionally healthy body. Okay. Well, this means right now we're in 2023. I've got to make another 37 years. Okay. Nope, that's wrong. Another 57, something like that. Where are we here? Whoop. Turn that off. Hey, I keep hitting the wrong button and getting the wrong answers here. So we go 2101 minus 1963. That's right. So if we go 2001 minus 2023 equals, yeah, I got to live another 78 years. So yeah, gives you an idea how well my math is working, doesn't it? But like I said, I'm aiming for doing this in a functionally healthy body. Simply put, I can work if I end up in a wheelchair, as in not able to walk with both legs. I can work with a quadriplegic. Nothing against quadriplegics. In all fairness, my hat's off to the ones that are still functioning. I don't think I could function well as a quadriplegic. What do we got? The nice part about it is we're looking at, so many people. Um, that's what I'm aiming for. You know, at least 127. I think I actually have to make 137, but you get the idea. I look at it this way. Right now, so many people are looking up there. What is going on off the world? And we're turning a blind eye to what we've got control over down here. And when I say we, I don't mean the elites, I don't mean the politicians, the religious people, not at all. I'm referring to us, the individuals. You have the power in the palm of your hand to make this world a better world for virtually everybody. But it is up to us to work together. And this chat room is a beautiful microcosm of it. Okay. That shows what we are capable of. Okay. And it's just a question of really changing the viewpoint. Right now, and this is why I am working at opening doors and going, okay, how can we start showing you guys that you have the power to make this happen? Clearly, there's a lot of fighting against it. You do, the thing is, Derek, that the fact they're black does not mean they are not off-world. Okay. The fact of the matter is they work with different colors as well. Jack's going, my deal is if tech were released, life extension to 200 or 300 years is feasible. That or mind, body, spirit. Now, here's the kicker to it. We don't require the tech to live that long. We require belief and understanding. And what I mean by that, scientists have already proven, and I mean Terran scientists, in today's world, have already, for all intents and purposes, proven that the human body replaces every cell in the body every 7 years. With that in mind, the oldest of you is only 7 years old. Period. Okay. Derek, I can tell you this. The military, you heard the military has medbed technology. They absolutely do. They have the capacity to accelerate people's healings. There's a lot of things they're sitting on that they haven't released. Now, for what reason? I can surmise a few thoughts, but usually that gets me in trouble, so I'll let your imagination go as dark and foreboding as you'd like. Yeah. Dogface goes, I love life, but I doubt I want to be here for a few 100 years. Kind of tired at some point. I don't understand I don't know what that word was supposed to be. Oh, okay. Now I know what it was. It's a typo. But yeah, I don't understand what a lot of them go on about, what a lot of the kids go on about. You know, yeah, basically all older kids, Jack's going, basically all older people have called kids crazy. Then they get old and do the same thing. Yep. Here's the kicker. I was calling adults crazy when I was a kid because they were doing things that to me did not make any sense and frankly still don't. Okay. Now, I have noticed complications in my own life. Like I was telling my son the other day, I am really, really happy that our hallways are narrow because I don't fall down as much. Yeah, I got 2 walls to walk with, so I don't fall very far. But when we look at the way the world is running, we have the capacity to change it. Oh, the warmongering is simple, Lord. It's and they fight and they cause that kind of thing to keep people in fear. Okay, fear of lack, fear of control. The odd part about it is people are buying into it. Oh, we're going to war. Sure, probably are. Myself, I'm a firm believer, and don't get me wrong, and I've said this before, I absolutely have the utmost respect for anybody willing to go into the military to protect their family, protect the community, protect their country. I got no problem with that. I encourage it all too well. I have serious questions about the motivation of the upper echelon. See, um, war actually doesn't make money, and that's the stupid part about it. Okay, but here's the kicker. Back in the Middle Ages, when the leader of a country said, "We're going to war," he got on the horse and was out in the front of the war. He was right there going, "We're going." I had one gym teacher in high school that was the same way. When he said, "We're running 2 miles," he ran 2 miles. Okay. In today's world, you know, in today's world, it's very simple. Okay. We're going to war. And the people that are declaring war sit behind their safe little mahogany desk and go, "Here you go. You guys go out because I'm upset with him and I want more of what he's got. So you go kill him." Now, the thing is, I don't understand the idea of going out and killing somebody just because somebody else was in a bad mood. You know, and yeah, the big few do make money off of it. But, to my way of looking at it, with that much money available, what do you do? Now, get this. Can you see a problem here? They're pushing for a digital currency. Okay, now this is great. I mean, you don't have backing for the hard currency anyway. But think of it, make the whole world digital, then have a power outage. This is going to work well. Oh, I realize that. And, there's a lot of things that we could go down that road on. The reason I don't discuss war is because to me, discussing and working towards peace is so much more useful. Absolutely, Lord. Lord Rebeljack. Jack's going, crops grow to manual labor, not money. Oh, no, no, no harm done there, Dogface. You know, this is something it just I've been looking at this world. Like I've watched what war does. I've watched the human cost and the suffering that people go through. You know, but what I've also seen, and this is what I'm working on. Okay, I know what can happen if all we do is go, it's time to make this a better world. It's time to start helping each other and get back to the basic roots. That thing that so many religions talk about, oh, we're going to take care of the poor, we're going to take care of the sick. Oh, you've got a flood. Close the door in the church, you can't come in here. You know, now there are some churches, some temples, some spiritual guides, counselors, that sort of thing, that do the right thing. Okay. But so many have bought into the idea of I desire this to happen. Okay, I want money before I help you at all. What about the people that don't have the money? Okay. Now, like I mentioned, okay, I did post on Facebook just the other day, actually on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. My one book, Believe in Your Finances and Follow Your Dreams. I did get it up online. to start drawing a financial income from it. It's not that I don't feel that finances are necessary. It's that I feel they've got to be a side effect of your efforts, not a focal point of them. You know, so I'm looking at this world going, what can we do to encourage people to work together? This little trick here was literally just the starting point. Okay, because now it's time to start building the programs that we can literally teach people how to actually tap into their own abilities. Yeah, Dogface goes, they die and it sucks. That's reality though, no matter how, if we look at it or not. Unfortunate truth. Absolutely. This is why I love the people that go, what you can't see can't hurt you. I'm telling you, gravity you don't see, but the side effect of gravity is outright painful. How many people have been hit by cars they didn't see coming? Okay. Or how many people have died because of illnesses? Okay. These are all things that people cannot see and yet play absolute havoc with. Now, because I'm in the process of actually building the school now, okay, I'm not even waiting for the government to say we're going to help you. I'm just not. Dogface, not a downer. Oh, that I did. And what have we done? Where are we? Might be behind me here. It is. I don't think I managed to get any time in to work on it. But this is the guy that I'm in the middle of trying to wrap up. Okay. So right now he's got green wings on the back, blue on the bottom. But I'm going to be doing all of this for all the bone ridging, not in brown, but or not in white, but in brown. You know, in order to make, in order to blend in. It's literally a built-in it's literally a built-in camouflage. So many people, when we look at people that originally were drawing dinosaurs and what have you, right? The artists were going, oh, they're all gray. Until you look at the reptiles in real life. Bright colors, you're dealing with toxin. Okay. The brighter the color, the more toxic the animal. Or when you look at the birds, they don't come in just black and white. Well, some do, like the crow. You know, I will be working on some of these probably while I'm on the show tonight. Okay, that's actually not a bad idea. The reality is, I'm going to be working like I deal with questions like here. I deal with questions, so when I'm on Dave's show, I got to be doing something anyway. In case you hadn't noticed, I have a tendency of getting a little bored. Okay, and it's not that I don't enjoy talking to the people, but I have made a commitment to myself. Oh Lord, yeah. I used to have a friend that was on Normandy, on the beach of Normandy during D-Day. And world, that would be your ability versus mine. I can work. I mean, I agree. They bent that wing way too tight. But I have no idea. And realistically, I don't have the financial flow yet. Primarily because I got over 500 of these little monsters, up front. But I don't have the financial flow to be able to replace the figures. Not yet. So I just settled for the basic painting for the moment, but I have started working on drawing as well. Painting, drawing, writing with my left hand to get back to being able to do that. Okay, these are all little bits and pieces that I'm working with. There it goes. Chaos Theory from 207 movie Tubi TV starring Ryan Reynolds is a pretty good movie. So far, I'm a movie. So far, I'm a movie junkie. See, I have a tendency of watching movies, usually rewatching them because once I've seen them, I'll let them run in the background. I'm bad for that where it comes to the Lord of the Rings, where it comes to the Expendable series. And no, I haven't gotten into Expendables 4. Okay. But again, guys, if you do like the stream, do give me a thumbs up. Do give us a thumbs up here. I really appreciate you sharing the time, sharing your time with me. One neat little note there. I'm just thinking here. Derek, you've seen The Hobbit, right? There was a neat little scene in The Hobbit where the Rohirrim were coming down on top of the orcs at the bottom of, now I forget the name of the city offhand, but they were coming down. Okay, they were coming down, and yeah, with the light. But they were the original programming. The programmers went, let's get the orcs to work realistically. Let's give them a sense of AI. There were 8 actors dressed up as orcs. So they're all standing there just banging their swords together and jumping up and down and screaming. The Rohirrim came over the hill in full cavalry charge. All but the 8 orcs that were actors turned around and booked up the hill. They just bailed. So, thumbs up for AI working right. They had to dumb them down to make the war work. Kind of sounds like reality. Oh, okay. I do appreciate that there, World. World just going, the material is soft and malleable. Just dip it in boiling water for a minute. Very less than a minute. Reposition it and drown it in cold water to set the new position. I will have to give that a shot. Because there are some, I've got, like, for instance, I've got a centaur that is completely hooped. Yeah. That's just it there, Derek. If I have my way, the answer is yes. Okay. Remember I mentioned I was building a publishing company? I'm also down the road, once I've got the cash flow going to be getting into movies, going to be getting into that side. But I'm not relying on AI. I don't care whether AI is the state of the art. I'm still old school. I believe wholeheartedly it may cost you a little more, but from my standpoint, it is better with real actors than it is with a video. Yeah, you can get some fabulous special effects, but I absolutely am looking at that side of it. Now before I get carried away here and really drive myself into a basket, that said, I'm going to bring this to a close here. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me, guys. I really do appreciate it. The fact of the matter is, if it weren't for you guys and for the support I get from you, I really wouldn't still be here. I would have closed it before. Like about a year ago, I just about did. But with that in mind, I will be back on tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Okay, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific. Okay. Until then, guys, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.